Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is to you. Today, you know what? I'm going to draw today something that I've never drawn before. And I'm doing it for you because everyone's so scared. They sit down and they go, "What am I going to draw today? What am I going to draw?" What are you going to just draw? It doesn't really matter. And you might be like, why should I take advice from you? I only take advice from billionaires. So what? I only take advice from trillionaires. But today, I would advise just taking advice from me. I'm not a millionaire. I'm a hundredaire. I'm a thousandaire. You know what? I actually have a lot of cheese and milk. You know what that makes me? A derriere. That's a really stupid joke. I just regaled you with it. Is that even the right word? I'm thinking, you know what? We're always drawing from these weird... I'm not going to finish that sentence. What if I drew a boat like this? Right? Nice and you might be like a couple of clapboards or whatever they called. And you're like, oh, I've seen a boat before. I thought you were going to draw something I've never seen before. Can you bear with me? You were like, some of you are so impatient. I promise this will be something you've never seen before if you just wait it out. And I'm going to use all kinds of different tools, and we're going to experiment because that's what art is about. It's about experimenting. If you're only doing things you've already done, how fun is that? I mean, I'm sure you'll get really good at it if you practice, but what's the fun in that? All right, so where do we usually see a boat? We see it on the water, right? We see it on the ocean. But I don't want you to see it where you always see it because, like I said, this is going to be something new. So what if the boat was on a tree?
You call that a tree?
Yeah, I did call it a tree. And I'm kind of mad that you asked if I call it a tree. What if I put a tree trunk? Now it's a tree. And you can't deny it's a tree because what else has leaves and a trunk? You know what it needs though? It needs some more leaves on this branch. So now we got a boat on top of a tree. Already we're in uncharted territory, as it were, which is great. Because this is where you want to live with your art. You want to live in uncharted territory. If you're living in areas where people have already been, well, it's kind of boring. Can you bear with me? You remember when you were a kid and you were in class and you were like bored and you started doing like block letters like this? And then the teacher would be like, and you would be like, but you'd keep drawing. You'd be like, well, what if this N was three-dimensional? Wouldn't that be cool? And you would add dimensions like this. And now look at the N is three-dimensional. And maybe I can draw some stripes in the... This is the captain of the boat. He is going to be... These are just Posca markers. I'm using some crayons, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Grab whatever you need. He's kind of sad because his boat is on top of a tree. Why would your boat be on a tree? Why wouldn't it be on a tree? That's what you didn't think. Why wouldn't it be on a tree? Now, what if the tree was underwater after all, and this whole time I fooled you? You thought it was just sitting on top of a tree on a mountain somewhere. No, it's in the water. The tree is the thing that's out of place, not the boat. This whole time, you must think you're so stupid for thinking that the boat was on top of a tree just in the woods. That wouldn't even make sense. The tree being in the water, that's what makes sense. Maybe some captain was like, I hate this tree that's in my backyard. So he cut it down and then he brought it out to the middle of the water. Here we go. Let's give him some arms. He's like, I'm getting rid of this tree once and for all. So he just threw it overboard. So the boat's not actually sitting on the tree. The tree just hit the water and now it's starting to sink. So now the story's kind of making some sense. It didn't make sense to you at first, but now you're like, and you might be like, I think I get it. And you might be like, but what else could we put in the water? Does it have to make sense? Nope, doesn't have to make sense. In fact, let's make it not make sense again. I kind of want a purple. Well, I was going to do a fish, but that kind of makes sense because we're in the water. What if we did a human being? When you draw, do you think about the story, or do you just pick a photograph and copy it? If you're just doing the copying, you're just a human copy machine. But when you make a story and you have fun with it, you're being creative. You're being like a child and you're playing. And that's what's fun. This person has a dress on. She's not too happy because she's in the water and she's not a scuba diver. She was thrown overboard probably by this captain who didn't like the tree and he didn't like this lady. So she's drowning. What color hair should we give her? Brown. And it's floating up like this. Threw this woman overboard. This guy's a real piece of work. He's not the hero that we thought he was, that's for sure. First I was like, throwing trees away, pretty good guy. But throwing people away too, now he's a real hero. I'm just making this up as I go. Like this has, I do think it would be nice to have like, maybe another letter. Gives me another opportunity to do some three-dimensional stuff. And since we don't want to put fish down here, maybe we could put a fish up here. And this fish is like, I'm going to give the fish some sharp teeth. He's not having it. You're not throwing people and trees into my home just because you didn't want them in your home. They're not coming into my home. I'll tell you that right now. So he's about ready to like kill this guy. I'd probably do the same if he just started throwing crap in my home. I'm thinking of maybe like this needs a little bit of blue to kind of ground some of the ocean. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, hey, I forgot about this camera. Isn't that beautiful? You people that are watching from this camera, the people over in this camera said that you guys are weird. And I tend to agree with them. I mean, I tend to agree with you guys. I don't agree with these people. I do really, though. It's fun to add water to the Poscas and to the crayon, water-soluble crayons, that is. I don't want to leave you guys out, do I? I think I smell something, and I'm pretty sure it's coming from over here. I'm pretty sure it's coming from these people, really. You probably are both like talking to each other right now and are like, I think it's him that smells. And I think he's trying to pin it on us, but it's got to be him. I mean, he's the only one in that room. You're wrong because I have a cat. But my cat doesn't smell because she cleans herself all the time. So don't even think that it's my cat. And I scoop her litter box all the time. And then I wash my hands. Because, for obvious reasons, come on. What do you think I am, disgusting? Look at this now. We got a tree. I probably said a tree and then I pointed to the boat. So stupid. We have a tree. We have a boat. We have a captain. We have a nice fish, which I'm going to paint in with some pink. You know what these are? They say that they're oil pastels. But if they were real oil pastels, would you be able to put water on them like this? And have them smear like that? No, because then they would be water soluble and not oil. So whoever made these is a big fat liar. And I know it. And I'm going to call them right out. This is the Gallery Art Supplies by Aquarelle. Liars. Big fat liar. Although I do like these. I just don't think that they are. It's a little bit of false advertising, let's just be real. What's your favorite part so far? Me? Really? It's me? What? That's so nice. Although I was hoping it would be the art that I just made. I spent all this time creating something beautiful for you ingrates. Big fat liar. What if, look at these, this is like a mop brush. By Posca, you can squeeze them and like more juice comes out. And then if you, watch this. You gotta be careful. This isn't just a game. Might be a game to you all, but to me, this is life. This is real life. This is how I make a living. So don't be cheap, buy my art. Oh, I'll watch your free videos, but go to your shop? I don't think so. What do I look like, a sucker? Yeah, you kind of do, if I'm being honest. And I can't even see you. Imagine the people that can see you, what they think of you. Heesh, I'd hate to be them. This is a real ugly piece of art. I've made some ugly art in my time, but this might take the cake. Where did that expression come from? Where did that expression come from? Where did that expression, where did that come from? Did someone like take somebody's cake? And then they're like, oh, that person really takes the cake. Doesn't take the cake mean good? If someone took my cake, that wouldn't be good. So I really don't see that. I don't get that expression. Don't you wish you had a plastic tub like this, fold with crayons? Yeah, that's how I talk. So what? It's fold with crayons. And you're fold with stupidity for still being here. Just kidding. Or am I? I didn't really think this through. I think this is probably like a 200-foot tree, which would make her about 100 feet tall, which I think that's about the world record for female height. So sometimes I just like to sit back and look at my art in my creaky charity. Okay, so I'm looking at the art and I'm thinking, what else could this use? And as I'm thinking, I'm putting my fingers on it, very tactile. You remember when you were a kid and you would just feel things with your finger and then you would make marks and you would be like, oh, look at that. I like how down here it's solid blue, but when I run my fingers on it, it's very light blue, called experimenting with art supplies. And we all did it when we were young. And then we got old and we forgot how. That heater is so loud. I'm not very happy. What if I shouldn't have put this O here. All fixed. What if I shouldn't have put the N either? I was thinking about maybe adding a little bit more color. We could use crayons, we could use Posca markers. There's so much we could use. I think I just drew a hate crime.